back to Unaware Commentary, the place for Pokemon TCG battle narration that doesn't care about the stats.
Welcome back, trainers, to another exciting Pokemon TCG battle here. I'm your Unaware narrator. We are catching up with our players here right as the battle is about to commence. We have our player 2 on the right with the Buppo Mew mat, starting a Dunsparce in the active position and has drawn for a turn. Our player 1 on the left side with the Ethan's Ho-Oh mat, starting a Chianapao in the active position. Our player 2 going to go into the deck with a Pokepad here. We're going to find a non-rule box Pokemon to place into the hand. First deck search here, able to take a look at what resources are going to be available versus what cards have found their way into those 6 prize cards that will not be available to our player until a knockout has been taken. Looks like the consideration of a Snow Run here coming into the hand as the card of choice, considering whether or not it's going to find its way onto the bench. It will. Looks like we have some additional search options here. Maybe a Froslass in the hand, a Dunsparce in the hand, potentially an Ultra Ball to be played here to go back into the deck, find some additional resources, and assist in setting up on this opening turn. No supporters into the hand, but no need, as supporters are not usually playable on the opening turn of the game outside of some unique circumstances like Proton and Carmine in the current standard format. For the decks that choose to play them as a resource, it does allow for some more elaborate turn ones. A lot of times our deck here with Froslass, should there be a Fan Roads on the deck, would be a good initial play for the game to help get resources set up. But we're just going to see that for the start. Our player 1 here going to start the game of playing a Meowth onto the bench, going to go into the deck here. Looks like we're eyeing up a Cyrano, potentially taking a look through the deck, see what Pokemon are going to be available for this matchup. Looks like a Mega Kangaskhan Clefairy build with some of the additional attackers and resources going to be available here. They're going to find a Cyrano. Looks like Cyrano going to be the supporter of choice, going into the deck to find 3 rule box Pokemon or Pokemon EX and placing them into the hand. Going to be either Mega Pokemon EX or regular Pokemon EX, but going to find their way looking at additional resources that may be beneficial this turn or on future turns. It does look like the choices are a Mega Kangaskhan EX, a Latios EX, and a Clefairy EX. Latios EX on the bench with that Skyliner ability, going to make all of the basic Pokemon in play have no retreat cost. Leads to the attachment of a telepathic psychic energy to that Lillie's Clefairy EX on the bench, allowing for the searching of the deck for an additional psychic Pokemon. It's going to be another Lillie's Clefairy EX finding its way onto the bench here. A full bench for our player 1 on turn 1. We may likely see a retreat out of the Chianapao here, motion up the Kangaskhan, and a run errand to see some additional cards and resources for the following turn. We'll see some energies in the hand, so not going to have any trouble setting up the Lillie's Clefairy potentially for an attack next turn. Usually not an issue leaving this Mega Kangaskhan in the active position with its large 300 HP stat here. You see the run errand, 2 more energies finding their way into the hand, and just a pass back over to our player 2, no means of getting a second energy into play on that turn. Finding of a Dunsparce being placed onto the bench, a Mega Froslass finding its way onto the bench with a energy already attached. Or is that? No, that's, yeah, with a water energy already attached due to the evolution and the playing of it. The Dunsparce runaway draw being utilized, drawing 3 cards, and that the Dunsparce finding its way back into the deck. Taking a look at the hand to see if we have any additional means or reasons to go back into the deck. A Baneri being found off of the runaway draw, going to find its way onto the bench here. Not looking like we're going to go back into the deck, so we are going to shuffle away that Dunsparce, shuffling in the deck before we see any additional resources potentially here. We'll see the promotion of one of these benched Pokemon into the active position, likely that Mega Froslass with the Resentful Refrain attack, going to deal 50 damage to times the number of cards in the opponent's hand. We see an additional energy potentially for turn. That second Dunsparce finding its way onto the bench. We do see the playing of a Battle Cage will prevent the placing of damage counters onto the benched Pokemon of either player by means of attack effect or ability. To see a Mist Energy also finding its way onto that Mega Froslass, going to protect it from the secondary effect of attacks such as special conditions and damage counters. Checking the number of cards in hand here, looks like it may be enough for the Mega Frostlass's Resentful Refrain to take a big 3-prize knockout on turn 2. That Mega Kangaskhan finding its way into the discard pile. Our player 2 taking the 3 prizes and a big lead here. That Mega Froslass with 310 HP in the active position. Our player 1 probably going to need to find an Area 0 Under Depths, as well as another Cyprino, just to be able to put more Pokemon in play to try to get to that HP stat. We do see the Area 0 Under Depths come into play, bumping the Battle Cage. Area 0 Under Depths, a stadium card that if there's a Terra Pokemon in play, allows for the player with the Terra Pokemon in play to have 8 bench slots, will increase potentially the damage of that full Rondo. But our player 2 choosing to keep their bench fairly sparse as well, with only a Dunsparce and a Baniri on the bench. We see the playing of a Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking going into the deck, selecting 2 cards and placing them on the top, but there's currently no way to draw cards on our player 1's battlefield. Potentially just trying to set up cards for the following turn in case there's a follow-up knockout here, just trying to get as many cards out of the hand for the turn so that that Resentful Refrain may deal a little bit less damage next turn. Our player 2 with 2 energy attached to that Mega Froslass potentially going to be able to set up an absolute snow and put the Clefairy to sleep should the Resentful Refrain not hit the necessary numbers to take a knockout. It looked like the finding of 2 cards here. Not going to quite be able to see those, but they will find their way onto the top of the deck here. It's just a handful of energy. Can't quite see that last card in our player 1's hand. Do see the retreat of the Lopunny EX, who has a retreat due to its own ability. The promotion of the Lillie's Clefairy EX. I'm going to promote the Chiantao, as giving up that additional prize really doesn't change the price fixing here. Just counting up our damage, going to do 20 damage plus 20 damage for each benched Pokemon available. Going to deal 120 damage to that active Mega Froslass. To 140 damage, my apologies, to that active Froslass. Still turn it back over to our player 2, who has benched a second Baniri and evolved the initial Baniri into a Mega Lopunny onto the bench. Are we going to try to protect this Mega Froslass in the active position? Do we see a retreat and attached to the Mega Lopunny here? Looks like a couple of Ultra Ball available to our player 2. Able to go into the deck and find any additional resources. Likely a discussion here just of the cards in hand to know what potential damage numbers are going to be available. If there's an attachment, just going to see a big Resentful Refrain. There is going to be enough cards in hand to take a knockout on that Lillie's Clefairy EX. 2 more prize cards being taken by our player 2. You see a Resentful EX being drawn off the top of the deck, likely being set up by that Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking. The attachment of a Psychic Energy to that Lillie's Clefairy. You see a Wondrous Patch, a Mega Kangaskhan, and a Prime Catcher into the hand of our player 1. What resources do we have available to potentially set up a Void State where we're able to survive for a turn, try to take multiple knockouts on some of these Mega Pokemon? You see the benching of that Mega Kangaskhan EX. We are going to fully bench lock ourselves here again. Going to limit the damage numbers available, as there is not a Terra Pokemon in play. Potentially a misplay here, as a Terra Pokemon is going to be essential to be able to hitting some of these larger damage numbers. You see the playing of a Prime Catcher, pulling up a Mega Lopunny into the active position, and the promotion of, it looks like that Mega Kangaskhan to try to run errands and see some additional cards. Possible we're going to try to keep this Mega Lopunny in the active position, as it is known for doing additional damage with its Gale Thrust attack it comes from the active position onto the bench, our player 1 likely hoping that the player 2 does not have an energy or an air balloon really get out of the active position, as due to the number of energies in this hand, it's going to be difficult to get down to where a Resentful Refrain wouldn't just take a knockout here. Going to promote the Lillie's Clefairy EX. One more benched Pokemon going to be available to our players here, or one more on each side. Going to count up our damage here. Got 5 on one side, 3 on the other, plus the additional 20 at base damage. Going to do 180 damage to that active Mega Lopunny. Nowhere near taking a knockout quite yet on that 330 HP Pokemon. What are our outs here? Is there a way out for our player 1? We do see the drawing for the turn. There's not an energy in that opening hand. We do see the evolution of a second Mega Lopunny. There's a Dunsparce to draw some cards. The activation of Runaway Draw. We're going to see 3 cards off the top here. Do we get to see them? Oh, there's an energy into those 3 cards, so we will just be able to see an attachment to the Mega Lopunny, the retreat of the Mega Lopunny, and the Resentful Refrain going to be available for our player 2. Our player 1 not going to have an additional turn here to find resources, just finishing the action of that, the Dunsparce Runaway Draw here, shuffling him into the deck. Don't know if our player 2 quite saw the energy. We did see the peaking of those cards. A lot of times they will just find their way into the hand. Do we see the out here of the Gale Thrust from the active position? Taking a look at the resources available, trying to determine damage numbers. Cards in hand are 6, it looks like, for our player 1, so Resentful Refrain going to do plenty of damage to this Lillie's Clefairy EX. Do we see the line here? Oh, we have found the energy in the hand. Do see the attachment to the Mega Lopunny. Going to see the retreat being paid for, just that one retreat. The promotion of a Mega Froslass into the active position. A Resentful Refrain going to take the knockout. That'll be our game. Thank you so much for watching, players. We'll catch you next time.